What's going on, everybody? John D with Pro Digital Gear, here again with another setup video, and today we're going to be setting up the Epson T5470M. Now, I believe these directions say that this also applies to the Epson T3470 and the Epson T5470 without the M. But we have the T5470M. So it is super hot out in our location today, so we already opened the box outside. I usually show unboxing, but it's just too hot out today. So far, we've taken most of the parts out of the box. The printer is still outside, but what we're gonna do first is set up the stand. Okay, so here's what we have inside right now. We have our startup guide, which came in the same little pouch as our warranty information. We have the printer stand directions. And then we have the rest of the paperwork right here. We have our power cable. And I think this is all of the hardware here. I believe these are all the parts to the catch basket. We have this bar right here, which goes to the stand. We have our lovely Epson inks. And we have the feet, which are already attached by one of the supports. I guess it comes like that. Full disclosure, I have not yet had the privilege to set up this printer. So we're gonna be learning together as we go. If that hasn't scared you away from this video, let's go ahead and set up the stand. Okay, to start, all we need right now is this support bar right here, the hardware for our stand, and the legs and feet. So the first thing our directions tell us to do is to raise the legs or the feet, or whatever you want to call this part. Now you'll see once I pull them up that this piece kind of clicks in here and stops these from falling temporarily. We can do this on both sides. Now, the directions tell you to do this in the box before you take it out. But like I said, it was just too hot to film out there. Now let's go ahead and pull off all of the blue protective tape on each side. Okay, next we simply slide in our support bar like this. You have to do the same on both sides, just like that. Okay, now on the outside of the stand, we're gonna screw in that support bar. We're gonna use our hardware here and our Allen key that came with the printer. So we're gonna need these screws, only 4 of them I believe, and our Allen wrench right here. Seems like all the screws that came with the printer are identical, so that's nice and simple. First we're gonna take 2 and thread them in on this side. You might have to hold the support bar on the other side to make sure it catches. And we wanna tighten that down. We don't need to over tighten it, of course. And that bottom one caught right away. Let's go ahead and put the screws in for the support bar on the other side. You know, again, you might have to push or move the support bar around on the other side of it so that it meets up with the threads. Yeah, it might take a little bit, but eventually you'll find the thread and it will catch and tighten down. The second one seems to catch easily. All right, so now our directions tell us to flip our stand over. I'm gonna flip it over so that you're gonna be seeing the back side of the stand, because we're gonna need to line up some arrows on the printer. I believe they're right here and right here, so that way it's easier to drop the printer onto the stand. So let me go ahead and flip it up so that you see the back of the printer. Oh, I guess I have to spin it around. There we go. Now on the top of the stand, we have to drop in our last 4 screws. They're right by the left and right arrows on the top of the stand. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So I guess technically this is the left side of the stand and this is the right, but it's reversed for you right now because we're looking at the back of the stand. On either side of the stand in the back, there's some arrows, and we're gonna line that up with the arrows on the printer. Let me show you a little close-up of that. That's the little arrow that we're talking about right there. Kind of hard to see, but there's also an arrow on the printer that we're gonna line that up with. These guys are actually I guess you would call them a thumb screw that holds the printer to the stand. Look at that. It's gonna make it super easy to tighten down the printer to the stand. That's new, I love that. So right now we're not gonna install the catch basket. Looks like we're gonna do that after we have the printer on the stand. So I'm gonna have Dan help me with that, and then we'll pick up once the printer's on the stand. So me and Dan already hopped the printer onto the stand. If you look in the back of the printer, these are the arrows right here that you need to line up as you're putting the printer on the stand. The printer has a little diagram on it that shows where to lift by. You should lift here and here. Same thing on this side. The diagram's a little bit different though. You should be lifting here and then over here. Definitely want to make sure you have enough people to help you out. Here's the arrow on the stand and printer on the other side. Again, you have to line these up while dropping the printer on the stand. Next, we're going to take these and we're going to screw the printer to the stand. So right now we are under the printer, and there's one of the holes, and then here in the back is the other. As long as your stand is properly aligned with the printer, these should just go up, and all you have to do is hand tighten them. Exact same thing on the other side. And we have a total of 4 of these all together to do. Once that is done, the printer should be securely fastened to the stand. All right, let's go ahead and spin our printer around and put the catch basket on. All right, so Epson wants us to lay out the net first. Let's take that out of the plastic. Untie the ends here. There we go. We're gonna unroll it like this so that this bar is in front. And then we're gonna take our arms. Take those out of the plastic. And then we're going to connect them on either side, just like that. Do the same thing for the other side. And then we're going to snap these in to the stand on either side. And then we want to take this loop and loop it into this hook right here. Here's a close-up of the hook and the loop. Again, we have to do the same thing on the other side. Let's go ahead and snap in this arm. Now you have to push down pretty firmly, but it will click in. And then we have to hook this loop into that hook right there. Moving around to the back side of the printer, we're going to want to connect the net to the stand. First, we're going to take this loop here, and we're going to clip it into this white clip here. And then take this loop and simply hook it right there. We're gonna finish by doing the same thing on the other side. Take this loop right here, put it in that white clip, and then take this loop right here and hang it from that hook right there. This catch basket is super simple, and it is very similar to the one on the F570 stand. If you want to move it out of the way, simply tuck it back just like that. Alright, now we can pull off all of the blue protective tape and the clear protective plastic. Some of them you have to open up the doors in order to get. We even have some here on our spindle. Taping down our core adapters. If you want, you could take your core adapters off, like that, or snap them in, by lining them up, and they click right in. We also have some tape in the front here. Make sure we grab that. So this door right here actually is where we would access our maintenance tanks. On this side, and it also looks like there is one on this side too. Okay. There's some tape holding the ink door. This little diagram right here shows us that we can access our scanner if we need to clean it, if we're getting maybe some streaking in our scans. This gray button right here unlocks each side. We have another one here on this side, and that will open the door for the scanner. It then gives us access to the scanner sensor. As we can see, there are 3 separate sections of scanner sensors that we can clean. Now we can open up our ink carts and get them ready to load in the machine. Let's make sure we give them all a very gentle side-to-side agitation. We don't want to shake them up too much. And just like that. Let's go ahead and open up our ink door. Just pops open like that. First we're going to load in our yellow. Then magenta. Then cyan. And then our matte black. Per usual, there's a nice little diagram here. Go ahead and close your ink door. We also have these cool little magnet guides. They easily clip into this track just like that. And I think if you push it over that little notch right there, and then bring it to right here, it aligns you with this line right here. On the screen side of the printer, we have our USB and our Ethernet connection. Not too far from these connections, this is where we will plug in our power cord. While we're down here, let's go ahead and take our power plug and plug in our printer to the wall. All right, now we're ready to fire up the printer for the first time. Let's go ahead and hit the power button. First thing we're gonna do is pick our language. Then our date format. Then we can go ahead and enter today's date. Looks like it's already set. We can pick our time format. And then we can go ahead and enter in the time. Then we can do our length unit. We're gonna do feet and inches. All right, if any of your doors are open, it's gonna ask you to close them. And then it's gonna start preparing the printer. If you've already loaded the inks in, your printer will then start initializing. So once our printer is done initializing, it's gonna bring us to our main menu. Now we can load some paper in and do a nozzle check. And we can also do a print quality adjustment. I think that might be the same thing as a head alignment. But let's check it out. To go over to our maintenance menu, click this little arrow button here. We're gonna go under settings. And then we're gonna go under maintenance. As you can see, there's the print head nozzle check and the print quality adjustment. Let's go ahead and do print head nozzle check first. We're gonna have to enter the paper source. We're gonna do roll paper. And let's go ahead and hit start. It's gonna tell us that our roll paper is not loaded. So we're gonna go ahead and click OK. And then it's gonna walk us through loading some roll paper. So first thing it wants us to do is open up the cover and then of course take out our spindle. And then we're gonna wanna take off one side. And we're gonna want to feed through our spindle up. But guess what? We have to take off the adapters on the spindle because we have 2-inch core media. Just kind of have to put your fingers down on the inside here, pinch and push through, and eventually it'll unlock. Let's do the same thing on this side. Again, you have to kind of reach in these little tabs here, and then it should come off. Now we could feed our spindle through the media, just like this. And then we'll do this side as well. So now we can load the spindle into the printer, like this. Seems like they put these nice little like air springs or something in there. So it kind of just settles right in. That's pretty cool. Okay, so the paper needs to unwind this way. We want to feed this paper into the slot until we hear a beep from the printer. There it is. Now it's telling us to close the top cover on the screen. And the printer should begin to feed in the media. And then once the paper's all loaded and ready to go, the printer is also going to print the nozzle check for us. This is what your nozzle pattern is going to look like. As you can see, it's super clean. No breaks in the lines anywhere. Looks good to me. If your nozzle check was clean, you can go ahead and click this option right here. And if there are breaks in the lines and it didn't look good, you can click here and that would bring you to a print head cleaning. But we're looking really good, so we're gonna click this. Now the next thing that we're gonna try is print quality adjustment. I believe this is like a print head alignment, so let's check it out. Paper's already loaded. Let's go ahead and hit start. Yeah, this pattern here looks a lot like a print head alignment. All right, looks like that is done. When it's done, you're gonna get a print that looks something like this. And to me, that looks very similar to a head alignment. Looks like I printed it a little bit over here too. Once that's all done, it goes back to the home screen. And at this point, you should be ready to start printing. All you need to do is download your software and drivers from Epson.com and load them onto your computer. Well, I hope this setup video was helpful to you. If you have any questions about the printer, or if you're looking to purchase the printer, feel free to give the knowledgeable staff at Pro Digital Gear a call, 1-888-459-1482. Send us an email at sales@prodigitalgear.com or visit our website www.prodigitalgear.com. Thank you everybody for watching our videos. Hit that like button and subscribe. I think that's what you say when you do YouTube videos, right? I look like a weird bug.